still black?
I guess we're really ripping off for this episode. Today, I'd like to bring you something a bit more special. At least to me, because growing up, I loved Ninjago. This was my favorite set of Power Rangers. So why, pray tell, am I looking at this one first? I didn't even own it as a kid. Mainly because of this guy here. I mean, I owned this minifigure as a kid. Yes, we'll take a look at the accessories and minifigs before we get to the big guy himself. This is a torch. There's fire. Cole can hold it. You also get this bit of ground, which holds the scythe or quakes. Looks good, not much really to it. Oh yeah, sorry if things look a little dusty. Blame it on the eBay seller. Of course, you do get a bit more than just those. This is called DX, a very classy minifigure. I'm not sure if classy is the right word, but gold and black give me that vibe. It's pretty simple, but that's all it needs to be. What I mean is that the main point of the suit is to show off the dragon. But there's a few things here and there, like the belt and the things on the back, which it just add to it. He doesn't come with a hairpiece, but here he is with it. Oh yeah, here's the scythe and the sword he comes with as well. Can't forget about storage, although he does look a little strange with a sword. He is supposed to be the scythe wielder, after all. Now peace is restored to everywhere in the world. I will say, I do love the original build for the Scythe of Quakes. Just a shame we never got a better one. Nope, never. Oh yeah, this also comes with Whiplash. If you bought any of the legacy sets, then you'll be very familiar with him. I know he is missing his armor piece. Blame the eBay seller, and I can't be bothered with Brooklink at the minute, although I do like the head. My point is that the minifigures are cool and remind me of when I was younger. And do you wanna know the stuff I do when I was younger? Well. I was wondering that thing would put on an antenna, but I don't have one. If you knew what that was, you are a real one. I forgot the boulder, didn't I? I'll kill myself. I believe we can move on to the dragon now, and immediately this is going to be a royal pain in the butt to film. Mainly because of the way this fat lizard is designed. I'm not saying it's bad. The brown does work together with the green and the tan and the grey to make a good color scheme. The twin spikes on the tail does look quite nice, and I will commend them for making the grey part of the color scheme, since the grey is what the technic parts are. The black also works, despite how little of it there is. A little ironic if you think about it. Then again, I think the black is supposed to be like a unifying color between all the dragons at this time. We'll skip the legs for now and move on to the body. And already there's something a little off here. It's both pretty tall and thin. These sort of rock textured pieces look nice everywhere else except here. You can even see through the gaps from the top. Not to mention the sort of ratchet joint in the middle. It's a little awkward to use, if that makes sense. And making it look weird is pretty easy. But let's just move on to the saddle. With the saddle, I think you're supposed to sit on it. Wait, hold the phone. I am genuinely stupid. That looks better, although I don't exactly know how it's actually controlling the dragon. All the other dragons had chains that they used to pilot the giant flying creature. Then again, this guy just doesn't have wings. In the show he did, but the actual physical thing, nope. But then again, I think the focus is more so on these green things. Do you guys know what a Triceratops is? They're still cool, and the banners behind them do add to the look. I can't read what they say, but I'm sure it's something very insightful. They also pop off a little too easily. I know I've been complaining a lot, but let's just move on to the best part of the set. I swear, there's nothing more iconic than these head molds. When you look at the dragon, this front area is where you look immediately. The LEGO casted it their own mold instead of just, brick building it, and I say it turned out for the better. The sculpt work is pretty good, and I think the colors are really nice. It does feel weird since it's made of rubber, but I think it's mainly because of the gimmick. It is pretty simple, but still quite effective, although it isn't really that easy since there are spikes on the head. You can't close the mouth, which is why I really want a new version of this. Legacy has done some pretty outstanding stuff, and I wish a new version of this could join the ranks. I know Legacy died, so Core could also die, but come on LEGO, 15th anniversary is coming up, please I beg. Anyway, I've kind of forgotten to talk about the legs, so let's get it over and done with. They're very limited, to put it simply. Thankfully the ones in the front you can move around pretty easily, although not really gonna get much out of them. But the back ones, oh my god! They're just on these armatures and they can't move, like, at all. There's something a bit funny about it, but also it's a bit of a product of the times. LEGO isn't what it is these days. Back in 2011, they didn't have theatrical movies. Bionicle had just died recently. They needed something new, something big that would prove itself despite its flaws. LEGO needed to be as big as possible, despite how restrained they might be by the budget, which is in sharp contrast to today. A lot of the more recent sets I've bought feel more like model kits instead of, well, usual LEGO. This coal mech, for example. Not only is it huge as hell and really fun to pose, but a lot of small pieces come together to make a really impressive set. I'm sure that sounds good, right? Here the two are compared to each other, and now here are the prices. Am I saying this is bad? No, it's quite fair actually. What I'm trying to say is, the old sets used a lot of big pieces which made them look cool at a glance, but it left areas gappy or just missing. Meanwhile, a lot of newer sets fill in those gaps with more pieces, which makes them like model kits. They can be looked at and admired. The old sets had the now factor. They needed to sell now to children. They weren't comfortable yet, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean the old sets don't leave a lasting impression. Here's my original J minifigure from back in the day. Yeah, sure, it's simple, but it gets the point across really well. Plus, I have a lot of memories attached to it. My experience and imagination adds to why I like it. The newer stuff fills in the blanks themselves. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? Well, I think that's up to you. Me? Well, I'm gonna enjoy having the two ninja I owned in 2011 back together. Plus, one of the original dragons, whom I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. It's very much a product of the time.